Yeah, this is going to be an interesting podcast that I am rather excited about because it's with a couple of people I don't think I have seen in 2 decades or so. I think I'm not sure. We'll dig into that, but I think that's the case. So, um, I have here, and I'm going to butcher your last names. I've been butchering your last names for
Let's
20
hear it.
years. I'm going to give it a shot, and it's going to be embarrassing. I know it will be. We have with us today the two remaining members of the Suits XL, Olivier. Now, this is where I'm going to get into trouble. I mean, even just R.O., like even Patrick Roy, fuck.
WAHA.
Olivier Roy de Belleval.
It's pretty good.
How would you say it,
Now,
Olivier? Say it.
now let's talk about angine de poitrine.
Absolutely.
Good segue
And
to that.
it is. And then we have Samuel. I call him Sam. And again, last name that I'm going to butcher. I mean, how long have I fucking known you and I can't say your name? Lubier Demer.
That's pretty good, man.
And with us in spirit, Yohann Gosselin in spirit.
Yes, indeed.
So let's start with this because boy, I when I was prepping this one, I was, when so much time has passed, the mind gets blurry, the memory gets blurry. My memory is blurry. I'm old. I'm sorry, but my memory is blurry. And
Well, you don't look like you've aged a bit, man.
oh, I appreciate you lying like that. That's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I've aged better than some people. I'm just all gray now. Everything's gray. I still got my hair though, so I'm happy about that. But here's the first question, just because I was wondering, what would the last time be that we saw each other? Any idea?
I think, well, the last show we did was in 2007, if I remember correctly, and it was the Canadian Radio Music Award, I think. We had two nominations, if I remember correctly. And we had one in the Indie Awards also, but we didn't play there. So that's the last show we did, but I don't know if you were there though. So I would say it's probably around 2006 when the record came out. And I think the last
So it's
time
been
I
20
saw
years.
you, yes, the last time I saw you, I mean physically, was in Vancouver when we did some mixing with some mixing stuff for the album.
You see, because with John Webster.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. Mhm.
But I did go to a show of yours in Vancouver. You guys played a show, and I think it was at Richards on Richards, which is, that club hasn't even been here for 15 years. But I have a pretty distinct memory of a show here, which if you were playing a show, it would have been after the album came out. So probably 2006, 2007.
Probably, yes, yes. I don't remember that venue though, but I mean, it's very likely.
And Olivier, I don't think you were, did you tour with them? Because I don't remember.
I was, as you know, I was sort of a shadow worker. So
Yeah.
I only met you once, actually. We talked plenty on the phone, but I met you last time I saw you was that memorable night in your hotel room in Toronto with Yohann. We spent a couple of hours talking about music. It was really it's just a wonderful sort of a meeting of spirits for Yohann and I, because we've been talking to different people from the industry side, and it was awful all the time. As soon as we left your room, we were determined to just go forward with 604.
Isn't that funny? It's a vague memory for me. I mean, I always stay in the same hotel in Toronto to this day. I stay, and it's the Cambridge Suites right downtown. And So I'm sure that's where it was, but I have a vague recollection of that because Sam and Yohann came out to do the Low video. So that was Vancouver.
Yes.
And I remember that. But you were in the Play video, Olivier, but not in the Low video, I think.
Yeah, I got to go to Cuba with the guys.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that because I've been, listening to the record and watching the videos and stuff. But you've sort of answered my first question, sort of, which was how did we meet? Was it me approaching you guys? Okay, how did I even know about you? Because I was so in tune with Vancouver and what was going on in Vancouver, but not so much Quebec. Like, how the hell did I even meet you or know about you? Do you remember? Because I don't.
Well, we had our then manager, Frank.
Frank Lachance.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I forgot about.
Yo, sweet memories, man.
What was his last name?
Lachance.
Frank Lachance. Isn't it funny? Neither Julie, who of course worked with you then and has been involved in the current release, still works here 22 years later. But I'm amazed that neither her nor I even thought about him in preparing for this. Wow. Where is he? Where is he?
I mean, I think he's still in the music business, mainly publishing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's better you talk about him than I do.
But I think
well, I remember it didn't end well. I remember that. I remember I remember getting some threatening emails from him. I forgot all about that. Wow. So yeah, I don't know how much we even want to talk about that. Maybe we don't want to talk about that. But it was just a yet another story of a manager and band breaking up, and it didn't go well.
No, it didn't go well.
It's just such a crazy cliche, It's just.
But he was kind of a friend also, because the first band we started back in maybe the 90s was called Sunny Side Up, and he was the drummer of Sunny Side Up. He was a pretty good drummer,
we liked him in that seat.
Yeah. And so he became our manager at one point, and so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's wild because I completely forgot about that. But Sunny Side Up absolutely rings a bell, and I think that's how I found out about you guys. I think somebody sent me the CD, or I heard it, or
did we present as Sunny Side Up back then, or were we already the Suits? I don't even remember.
I think we were Sunny Side Up, if I'm not mistaken. I think we presented ourselves as a Sunny Side Up.
That's so interesting because like I said, I completely forgot about that. And of course the business was so different then, but I probably got a CD, tracked you guys down, and that's how it sort of happened. Then we had that meeting at the hotel, and one thing led to another, and boom, then all of a sudden we're working together. There's something I've always said about the Suits XL. If I don't say XL on this podcast, just bear with me. But
you never did.
No, I know it wasn't like you chose that name because you wanted it. Kind of got hoisted on you for trademark reasons. But there were 3 firsts that you guys represented for our label. 3 firsts. Can you guess what those are? The 3
I know one
firsts.
For sure.
What?
Man, care to go first?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Oh, well, we were your first pop act.
Correct?
We were probably your first act from outside BC, or francophone.
For sure,
francophone band.
For sure from Quebec.
So that's 2. At least the 3 I wrote down. Then there was one more, but that one's a little maybe.
One more.
It's something to do with the album itself.
That's a good question, and maybe because I know
that we were.
No, go ahead.
We were partly self-produced, or
no? First time 604 ever put out a song in French.
Oh yeah, with the Plaisir.
Which I got to tell you, I love that song so much. That one has really stuck with me. It's a song I have listened to over and over again over the years. And funny enough, you can check your stats on the back end of Spotify, and it's apparently the song I've listened to more than any other song on that album.
Okay.
Which is just kind of interesting.
Yeah, it does. Do you like do you sing along? Do you hum along? Or
I can't sing along because I can't even pronounce your fucking names. How am I going to pronounce the lyrics of that song? But no, I mean, I've got the track listing here, so we'll give people a bit of background. Actually, no. What am I talking about? There was another first. There's 4 firsts. The fourth one may be the one that's in some ways the most significant. It was the first. It sort of relates to what you said, Olivier. It's the first time we achieved a top 10 hit in the pop side of. We had some hits on rock and alternative. But Play went to number, I think, 4 on Hot AC and number 10 on Top 10, which was a first for us and a big, big deal for us. It really was a big deal. But that album came out August 15th, 2006, hence the 20th anniversary release that we're doing this year. Quarterlife Crisis, available everywhere where you can stream music. And I have the track listing in front of me, which I thought I'd just briefly go through it and see if either of you have anything you want to say about any of these songs. And I've been listening to it a lot in the last month, just knowing we were doing this. And I was struck by a few things. One thing that really struck me, it was heavier than I remembered it. And I don't mean heavy like heavy guitars, but heavy like bass, like heavy, like I would listen to it in my car and that bass just hits. Like it is a really, and I don't know if that was you guys or the Berman Brothers or I don't know what, but man, the bass on that album is heavy.
I think, it's probably, we all grew up with grunge music and we all played in bands, playing grunge music. And at one point we took a turn for, more pop songs, but the grunge era was still there, so it's probably the meeting between the two, grunge music and
you can
pop
really
music.
hear it on the various, demos we did back then, which was more, there was definitely more rock in there. But I think there's the 80s as well. When we thought, about pop, we thought about, the music of our childhood, and there's some really strong grooves and bass lines, obviously, in there.
And it's funny because you can really hear the 80s influences on that album.
Yep.
And it's funny because 20 years later, I think there's a big 80s vibe in the music industry right now. It's funny. So I think it's in a way a pretty actual album right now.
It doesn't sound dated at all, which is a real compliment. Like when I listen to it now, it could have been made last week.
Yeah.
You don't listen to it and go, oh, that sounds dated, or they're using instruments, or, it really sounds current.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah. I don't think it's, we're embarrassed about it, when we play it to friends. I still do. For a long time, I'm pretty sure, Sam, the same thing for you, right? You didn't listen to it for maybe 10 years. Or...
Oh, no, man. Well, that's the thing. When you do an album in the studio, you get sick of it because you hear the song so many times,
When you say you didn't listen to it, is that why? Just because you were kind of sick of it, or was it because...
No, not in my case. It was more like regrets and stuff like that. And it was just the emotional charge of
Yeah, well, there's that too for me, for sure. Yeah,
because there was a lot of I guess, I don't know, sort of failures in there too. Not so much in the album, and that's why it's great to listen to it now and to be just I'm just really happy about it. So it does,
Well, it's funny you say that because, like, another thing that's blurry to me, just sort of blurry, is how it ended. Like, it just sort of, because, sometimes things end with like a boom, like there's a big fight or there's a big fuck you or there's a big, and I don't remember any of that.
No.
It almost felt like it died kind of a quiet, sad
Exactly.
kind of death. Like,
that's really my memory of it, and it's funny that you should say that, because that's, I think, when it slowly died, I think I had some sort of PTSD associated with it, because I mean, I didn't touch my guitar for like 5 years after that, but it was a slow death. But it didn't end up in a fight, because we had a lot of mutual respect, I think, with the record company, and there's, I think, there's a factor for me is the distance between the record company and the band. I think that created a bit of miscommunications and maybe perceptions. So, but I think at the same time, that's why it didn't end in a fight or anything like that.
Yeah, it just kind of died on the vine, as they say.
Yeah, even even I'd say internally, well, unfortunately, Yo's not here to confirm this, but we sort of didn't really talk about it. We just, one went this way, the other did it, and for the most part, we had a pretty strong, what secondary options or plan B or
yeah.
So
I have a very clear. I have a very clear memory of playing on the stage and at the Canadian Radio Music Award, and thinking this might be the last show we ever do. And I have a very clear memory of that. And it was indeed the last show we did. And I don't know why.
Because here you are getting an award or nominated for an award. It ends up being the end.
Yeah, but there was a lot of issues, with the record company, with the band, the relation between me and Yohann was complicated. There was a bit of jealousy involved. There was
the relation between Yohann and everybody was complicated.
Yeah, well, yeah. Indeed, it was.
Should we talk about him a little? Like, I don't want to belabor the point, but Yohann unfortunately passed on, and how long ago was that?
That
2
was
years.
About 3 years ago.
3 years. Wow.
Yeah.
So how old would he have been
50.
when he died?
47.
I didn't even know. I mean, why would I, right? I mean, I had lost touch with him. He did contact me once or twice over the years. Nothing, and it was always strange. It was like these. I'd get a phone call, and it was like, oh, weird. And it was usually like, I'm working on music. Can I send you something? I'd always say, yeah, of course you can send me something. And he never did.
Oh.
He always threatened to send me music. Never did. But
yeah, it sounded like a threat.
Threat. When I heard he died, I was so blown away. I was so upset, and I Googled. I did what you do. You go online and say, well, shit. And I stumbled upon that fucking. I'm gonna get upset. There was like a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Oh,
that he set up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that him? I'm like, holy fuck, it's him in a hospital bed, basically saying, listen, I'm dying. I know you guys know this, but I'm telling for the world.
Yeah.
Basically saying, I'm dying. I would love it if I could spend the last 6 months of my life on the water, near the water. And if my friends could help me. I broke down. I was so upset. It's not even like I was good friends with him. I think it was partly I didn't know about it. So it's that shock of going, my God, like, what happened? How did he get liver disease? Like, what the fuck? Like, the whole thing was so. And then there's also a thing online of his funeral where people were talking and stuff. And I watched that. And I don't know. I never understood him. I don't mean that in a shitty way. Like, he was a complicated guy. There were times I would talk to him and it would be like I knew him for years. And then there'd be times I talked to him and it's like I didn't even know who I was talking to.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much the same, relation we had with him, And but it was sad. It was a sad ending, to be honest with you. It wasn't it wasn't positive at all, to be honest. And
no, even without going into too much detail, yeah.
mhm.
And he never got to go to the Caribbean to spend his last few days. He had a stroke, and that was it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
When did you guys last talk to him?
For me, it was quite a few years ago, but Ollie was a little bit closer with Yohann than
more
me.
like the cornerstone for the guys. And, so I talked to him, a few days before he passed, and I'm getting over it, but it's a bit traumatic to see him the way he was.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say about it, really. I mean, very talented fucking guy. I don't want to leave it all negative. Absolutely talented guy. I love him in both those videos. I think he's fucking awesome in both of those videos. There's a scene in Play where he's playing guitar with a guy from Cuba, clearly, or they're sort of showing each other apart. And it's so authentic. And the look of joy on his face of just, fucking around on a guitar with some guy from Cuba. That's how I'm going to probably, choose to remember him more. Like the love of music that he had was so palpable, so obvious, so joyful. So he had demons, but hey, we all have demons.
Yeah, of course.
For sure, you talk about authenticity, and that was it. It could, didn't lie, couldn't lie. It was just, it was the all the raw emotions, and his passion was just, it translated really well into music, for sure.
It really did. So let's go back to the album for a second. So, can I assume the two of you have listened to it recently?
Yeah.
I mean, just
I love the master.
The new mastering great. Is really awesome, man.
It's made quite a difference, huh?
Yeah, it did.
It's funny when that happens. Mastering's funny because sometimes you master something, it's like, it sounds the same. Sometimes you master it, and like in this case where you go, holy shit. And I think that's probably just technology has improved so much that, it just jumps out of the speakers in a way it didn't before. Any of the songs that you've listened to that you hadn't listened to in years strike you in any way? Like, is there anything where you go, oh, wow, like, that's so much better than I remember it, or, oh, wow, that's so much worse than I remember it?
Probably a bit of both. Because, for me, when I listen to the album at this point, I think it's a bit overproduced. That would be my main critic of the album. A lot of, electronic stuff, that not necessarily adds anything to the song. If I were to do the album today, probably would be a lot more simpler, Yeah, go ahead, Al.
Yeah, but the technology we had back then, which was primitive by today's standards, was just so enticing.
Yeah, exactly.
We would spend we would have 3 PCs lined up, and we'd just be editing all night long, and just trying all the new gizmos and stuff.
And of course, you didn't produce a whole album. That half of it, or at least 4 or 5 songs, I think, were the Berman Brothers.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean,
and they were of course known for "Who Let the Dogs Out." That was them.
Yeah. But I mean, it was kind of
a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, it was kind of a compliment also, because the Berman didn't really change a lot about the songs, in terms of producing. When you listen to the demos and the final result, it's kind of similar. So I always took that as a compliment.
Yeah, because they didn't see anything wrong. So if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, when I listen to the album, I mean, the songs that jump out at me are probably the same ones that jumped out at me at the time. It's funny, the one song that I listened to recently and went, Jesus, why wasn't this a single? Was, can you guess which one I'm thinking?
Demons?
Yeah, Demons. Absolutely. What a great song. Like, just what a great
I remember
song. It still is.
There was a guy from Universal Canada.
Paul Jessup.
Exactly. Wow, man. A blast from the past. Paul Jessup. And that was his favorite song, if I remember.
You know, that rings a bell. I still see Paul. I still talk to Paul.
Really? Wow.
Paul's in Quebec and he's still doing his thing. Yeah, so that one really sort of jumped out at me. The other ones that I loved are the ones at the time, I also probably loved the most, which were Play, Low, and Le Plaisir, which I said to this day is something I listen to a lot. And you know what it is about that song, Le Plaisir, is there's a real sadness to it. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something that's I don't know if it's the melody, but there's something sad about it to me. And I mean that in a good way, good sad. Like there's something sort of melancholy about it, something kind of bittersweet about it. And I had Julie translate the lyrics for me recently, because I don't think I ever knew what the lyrics were. It's funny when you really get into a song and you feel like it affects you, and yet you haven't got a clue what the words are. And I was really kind of surprised. And the lyrics are interesting. And obviously when you go from French to English, some stuff doesn't quite it's not like poetry. It doesn't quite
obviously
work that
rhymes
way.
or whatever, the musicality you can't keep, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think what struck me was, geez, I thought it was a sad song, and it kind of is. Like when you actually read the lyrics, it's like I'm looking at it right now. My tongue is a sling. Its wound is so deep. How abominable it is. Painful and pitiful. The black bile I pour out. All my lamentations. I mean, it sounds like somebody on the edge of suicide.
Ollie, you're going to have to answer to this one.
Oh, yeah. Well,
is that you? Because you were the lyricist, right? Ollie, you were the lyricist, right? Or
yeah,
not?
And for that one, because sometimes we just we'd work organically. I mean, Sam and I, started doing that, when we were kids.
Yeah,
like in elementary school. But yeah, Sam, you already had you already had like a demo. And I remember I had a really hard time, and for that one, you really tried to guide me through the metric of the song that you wanted. And I remember I had a really hard time because I already had a poem, and I couldn't find the way to just. And we spent days, and just hitting dead ends when we tried to sing it, and we finally found something that worked really well. So it was just it's about, but it's just about being, sorry for being an asshole sort of song, for not knowing to.
Who was the girl, Ollie? Just tell us.
It was the girls.
Oh,
was
in
it
general,
Marianne? Because there's a song called Marianne. Was it Marianne?
No, Marianne was the French Revolution. Marianne, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, just I had there's this painting that's always the first time I saw it, maybe I was at Versailles, or I don't remember, but I just saw this painting of this girl with the French flag that's all tattered, and she's like, it looks a bit like that picture of the American soldiers at Iwo Jima or whatever.
Yep.
But it looks so glorious. I was like, I love that girl. So we talked. I just wrote about an ideal woman who would be who would fight, for good.
Yes,
for an ideal.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it is funny because, like, Le Plaisir, like that, I knew that word means pleasure. I knew that's what that word means, and of course that's in the chorus. Le Plaisir. I mean, it's repeated, and I assumed it was a song about happiness. I thought,
of course,
even though it was made me sad when I listened to it, and then the actual chorus: pleasure, displeasure, the very essence of all sorrows. Pleasure, displeasure, when will I finally pull myself together? That's the strict translation.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating to me. I mean, honestly, when I read the lyrics, I even liked the song more.
That's cool.
I liked it even more because it just was like, shit, all these years, 20 years, I've been listening to this song. And it's always when I'm in a certain mood that I listen to it. And when I almost want to feel a bit melancholy, and to have read the lyrics and go, oh man, like, whatever it is, not a song about pleasure.
What do you think, Sam? The translation's pretty good, but it sounds so harsh and dark in English. It doesn't, it sounds sort of sweet sounding in French. I guess just the sounds of the words.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's strange in English. It sounds more heavy, and it's strange. I don't know why.
It's suicidal.
Well, you can blame Julie Baldwin for the translation.
Thank you, Julie.
And then let's talk about the bonus tracks, because there's a couple of interesting bonus tracks on there. So one is called Lust, which I love. I mean, you sent us two songs that I guess didn't make the record, or Lust. I can't remember. What was the other one you sent us, which isn't going to be
Road Trip. Yeah.
Which I think they're both great. Like when I heard them, I was just like, wow. And so were those written as for consideration of that album, or were they written after?
I don't think so, because I think Lust was written right after the album, so it would have made probably a second album, But I think it didn't. If it's kind of blurry, but I think it was written right after the first album.
I for my part, I'm not sure, but I think we sent you roughly 30 songs, to pick from. So it might have been there. Some of the stuff was just was half finished, so of course it wasn't so interesting. And we had different sorts of productions and artistic directions. Because Sam and Yohann are being different musicians. It came out differently. It was pretty obvious. It was, and when the two heads, came together, that was just amazing. But
yeah, that's interesting. And you know what I'm wondering? Because I tend to keep all the music people send me, and I wonder. I never even bothered searching Sunny Side Up in my iTunes. I wonder if I search there, if I'm going to find a bunch of stuff. I'm going to look.
Yeah, you might have it filed under Sunny Side Up.
Yeah, which is interesting. But that track's great. So just for the fans out there, there's going to be that, like a brand new song you've never heard. There's also a live version of Play. And the funny thing about that one is I had completely forgotten that even existed. Like
me too.
I was shocked when I found it. Because Julie was like, well, you better scour your iTunes, see what you got. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I listened, and I was like, oh my God, because I like it. Like, it's like an acoustic-y kind of version.
I do too. And it was really moving for me to hear, because, it's just so, I don't know, it's pure, it's just my buddies, playing guitar and singing, and it sounds so close, so here and now, and obviously, I get to hear Yo sing.
Yeah,
like
for
that.
me too. That was quite emotional for me, and it's just, it was a really good period. I remember that, it was, the album just came out. We were touring, doing radio stuff, and it was just a good period,
Can I assume it's kind of a dumb question maybe, but like, you guys must have been stoked to go top 10 in Canada, right? I mean, that must have been a thrill at the time.
Yeah, you bet.
To hear yourself on the radio?
I remember we were driving probably in Alberta or Saskatchewan, and just tuning to the radio, and the song was playing on two different, radio stations at the same time. And I remember vividly that we were, this might work, this might actually work. I remember that.
Well, I just remember talking to Paul Jessup and being like, because when it was starting to move up the chart, and I was like, dude, I need this to be top 10. I have to have this be it must be. And by the way, did you guys ever meet Chad or no?
No,
I don't think we did. We went
saw
to
him,
a concert in Quebec, huh? At the Colisée.
you guys invited us to the Nickelback show, but we never met Chad. We never spoke to him, and I feel like I have a parasocial relationship with the guy. I just followed him, watched the documentary on Netflix, read about him. And
I miss videos. I don't see them like I used to.
Women need to take back our power.
Wow, we're a real band and we are living off of what we're making.
We can command this stage just as good as the men can, and they need to know that.
Smash Hits magazine was huge, and if you got front covers of Smash Hits, then you were doing well.
Any of those types of things would make you nostalgic for the 90s.
Rubik's Cube.
Yeah?
The cassette tapes.
The metal Rhythm Nation hat reminds me of the 90s all the time.
The product. Like the hair. It's just, oh my God, can you get any more product in there?
I'm trying to think of something more like cool though.
Music is like the great connector. It is the universal language.
There's something so missing when there's no interaction with an actual audience.
Connect in that way in a large group.
Dude, like being on stage, that can't feel right.
No, it's like a dry hump.
Foray. So cool.
Boom.
That's the promo right there.
And the other thing I had Julie pull up, or at least she pulled it up and sent it to me, is the press release that we put out when we signed you, which is funny because I hadn't seen that since we put it out. And that was May 17th, 2006. Universal Music and 604 Records announced the signing of Quebec pop band The Suits XL. This announcement marks the first pop signing to Chad Kroeger and Jonathan Simkin's traditionally rock-oriented label. They talk about the song. After only 13 weeks on the chart, Play currently sits at number 8 at Hot AC and number 10 at Top 40. There's a quote from me. Says, hail from Quebec City, formed in 2000. Now, this I thought was interesting. The band selected their name as a way to poke fun at their frustration with the business side of the industry. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? Like Suits, like kind of a shot at the Suits?
Yeah, like I don't know, the TV show The Suits.
That's pretty funny. I mean, I don't think I've worn a suit since my bar mitzvah. So
no, you're not good. You're getting interviewed by the dude.
And what else does it say? It says, it's interesting. It compares you to Sky, The Cure, and The Cars.
Oh, well,
which
Sky, I don't know, but The Cure, I'll take it.
Sky was two guys, right? It was
from Quebec?
Yeah,
Quebec. From Montreal.
Love song, straight old-fashioned love song, that band. They were a great band. And I mean, I don't think I signed you because of them, but I know I really was a big fan of them. So that's interesting too. And
there was the Cars in there, and what was the other?
The Cure.
That's
which is
pretty
interesting.
Cool.
That's an interesting band to throw in there because, of course, the Cure are kind of a depressive, kind of downer. I mean, I love them, but they're kind of a downer of a band.
Yeah, that's probably the 80s, thing we were talking about earlier. The Cure, the 80s, the different influences.
And say, Jonathan, did you come up with those comparisons, or was it someone else? Or
20 years ago, my friend, I cannot remember a thing about that. It probably would have been me, but I can't remember for the life of me. I really can't. And then I want to talk a bit about the videos too, because have you guys seen the upscaled versions of them?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for that. I mean, I gotta say, I as a music teacher, it's great to have something to show from my past, and and those it was just like blocky and it's all pixelized or whatever, and now it works. It's something to be something to be proud of, and
it is something that has driven me crazy for years. Not just your videos, all the videos from that period of time. And that's why I don't even know if you guys have checked it out, but if you go to the 604 YouTube channel, there's a section called 604 Restored, where we restore these old videos. And it's funny because you use AI technology. Sometimes it works great. Sometimes it just is weird. In your case, I don't think it's perfect. I especially play low. I'm absolutely struck by the difference. It's shocking almost, but I really like both of those videos for different reasons. I think they're both really good. Play charted on Much Music Countdown. I remember that. But it's funny. I don't remember a ton. It was Marc-Andre
Debrun. Yeah.
Who, was a significant video director at the time. And I kind of remember, they flew you to Cuba. But it's a great video. And what I think I like about it so much is there's just a real, well, I'll use the word again, authenticity to it.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like what I think it kind of was, which is, young guys having a blast, sort of their first real music video. You guys all look like happy as pigs and shit. You're just sort of wandering around with big grins on your face. And there's a real joy to that video that is still there when you watch it. And there's so many funny a lot of it to me is the locals, because like there's that little kid who kind of sways back and forth with his big boots on, which, it's just his funny little moments. Yohann playing guitar with that guy, the sort of the old buildings that you did a lot. Like it looks like a church maybe or something. And just how beautiful the environment was. And you all just look so happy to be doing it. Any memories of what that was like to shoot that?
I mean, you said it. We were really, again, it was a great period, and Marc-Andre was really talented also, I have to say this. He was really talented and made us feel, very comfortable, very authentic. And so it wasn't... I thought it would be harder to do a video shoot, actually, because it was the first time I had a camera on me in all my life, but he made it feel very natural, very, so it was a great experience, man.
Yeah, it was just going around finding, some people who were just as excited to do it as we were, and looking for locations with the crew. It was really, it was just a nice back and forth with them. And so it was just, Sam had to work a bit more. I remember that day where you shot the Jeep with the train scene and stuff like that.
Right.
And I was just back at the hotel with Yo and Felix and Pat knocking back pina coladas and...
Well, you know what? That was kind of funny too. That was one thing I noticed that also kind of, because I sort of said to Julie, I said, well, like if you look at the low video, it's just Sam and Yohann. If you look at the play video, you think it's a 5-piece band. And I actually said to her, I mean, obviously, Olivia, I remember you, but I was like, who the fuck's that guy with the hat? I'm like, who are those other two guys? Like, I don't know. And of course, she filled me in like, oh, he was the keyboard player or he was the whatever, which I had zero recollection of. And I think Julie said, and I could have this wrong. So Julie, if I get this wrong, sorry. But she said something like, yeah, I don't think we were expecting them to be there. And like at the last second, it was like, because I think maybe I had a freak out about the bill or something. I was like, well, how could they have eaten so much food? Or I don't know. So I was like, well, there was 5 of them there. It's like 5 of them? What the fuck's that?
Yeah,
so
I remember, I insisted just a little tiny bit, for the guys to get that,
You didn't know that, but all of our families were there also.
Absolutely love that video. And then you go and you look at Low. And like, it's funny because that is a weird fucking video.
It is.
And all these years later, I'm kind of like, going, I don't remember shit about, like, because I was thinking to myself, I wonder what the treatment said, because it's such a weird video. Like, I'm trying to, like, I obviously approved it. I obviously said, and listen, I think it's good. Like, I think it's an unusual, compelling video that's even much better now that it's been upscaled.
And now that we can see the girls again.
Now you see the girls again. But I mean, I am assuming you were supposed to be kind of James Bond types. Like, was that the idea? Like,
yeah, I think there was a kind of Beastie Boys vibe to the video, very B-side, video.
Yeah, the idea of the roadside billboards was central to the treatment. That we'd have different sorts of movies and
it looks cool. Like, I think it's a really cool looking video, and that would have been Kyle Davison, I think.
Yep, exactly.
I couldn't actually remember, but then there's a guy who plays kind of like a DJ,
yeah,
a black guy, and he's spinning records. And I was like, why do I know that guy? Why does that guy look so familiar? And then I remembered there's a video for the band Mariana's Trench called "Decided to Break It," and he's a big part of that video.
Oh.
And that was Kyle Davidson. So I said, "Oh, that must be a buddy of Kyle's because he's in."
I remember he was a really cool guy. I remember that.
Yeah, nice guy. Me too.
Funny guy also.
I mean, you must have watched it recently. What's your take on just the video now? I mean, is it?
I absolutely love Play for its authenticity, like you said. Also, the treatment of the image is really nice, very analog, treatment.
Yeah, I think he shot it. We shot it on film.
Yeah,
16 millimeters, and it was just done with a lot of care.
Yep. And for Low, I mean, it's kind of vague. I remember the girls for sure, but I mean, the rest is kind of vague. I mean, I remember there was a lot of wardrobe that change. And
I remember that too. Yeah.
And it was more, how could I say this? We were in a studio. It was very a different experience for me.
Yeah, it was very indoor as opposed to Play, which was very outdoor. And it was a soundstage in Burnaby, if I remember correctly. I sort of remember that day. It was a long shoot, and it was, it was a lot of green screen stuff, and that I remember as well. So let me ask you. So we're doing this 20th anniversary. It's been 20 years. How do you look back on it all now? Do you look back on it fondly? Do you look back on it like as a pleasant experience, as a unpleasant? I mean, when I ask that question, I get so many different answers from people. The passage of time does interesting things to how one feels about things. I'm really curious from each of you, sort of how you look back on it now.
Well, for me, I mean, I'm very, very proud of that era, because I mean, I have a very quiet life, very white collar, quiet life, with a wife and a piece of land in the woods, midlife crisis kind of thing. And but I mean, when I look back, I mean, it seems like another life, and really, I mean, it and sometimes I'm not too I don't brag about that stuff very much. And sometimes, people say, that Sam was a musician, and they go and check out my videos.
The street, you are a ninja all the way.
Yeah, yeah, and
nice.
And people just can't, believe it. I mean, and I always say to them, yeah, I did the first act of Rihanna, and they just say, what? The first act of Rihanna? And so I'm very proud.
Name dropping, yeah.
You will. But I had to make peace with some of the stuff that happened at the time. But I mean, but it's all good. I mean, man, I'm so glad it happened. I mean, it's an experience that very few people have, and
yep.
The experience that I got from that period, I use in my job today, I mean, for communications and, so it was and I'm very, very, very proud.
Yeah, and
Olivier, how do you feel about it?
I look back on it, really fondly. I guess it's great memories. It wasn't the case for a long while, but well, time, like you said, sort of it can. Well, in this case, it healed everything, and it's just such great memories. And this thing that you're doing, the 20th anniversary, is just it's so good. It came out of nowhere for us. We weren't thinking about it at all. I mean, and I think it's just it was like a shot in the arm, and just so something joyful. The way you presented it, it was all positive, and it's just. Yeah, it just brought me back. But I mean, personally, I was just, taken back to those times, and just I could go on about the good stuff, forever.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? The passage of time really affects how you think about things, and I mean, I look back on it, and it's funny. Because a lot of it's blurry to me. Like sometimes I'll work with a band. Like I don't know if you remember the band Armchair Cynics who were on the label at the time.
I remember them. Yeah.
Great band who I always felt like should have been huge. And, it didn't work out. They did okay, but it didn't work out. And when I think about them, they just played their last show ever, like 3 weeks ago. I went to Victoria with my oldest son to watch it, and it was great. And, there's as much as I kind of listen to the music and just love it, I also have a feeling of, I guess, regret. Like, boy, it's like the fish I almost caught. I almost landed the biggest fish. And there's a sadness to that. There's a sadness of me going like, shit, it should have been bigger. I have a little bit of that with you guys, even though you had a hit. I mean, you had a legitimate hit. But I mean, but I don't remember it well enough to really have like full on sort of regrets about it. Like, I listened to the record and I go, we made a great fucking record. We just did. Like, that's something I feel great about. And that's the beautiful thing about, music and streaming music is it's there forever. The three of us will be dead and buried, and that music's still going to be out there for people to discover and listen to. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And you have to accept the fact that, making it in the music industry, it's not all about talent. It's about being in the right place at the right time. And there's a lot of that luck, just plain and simple luck. It's not all about talent, that's for sure. And so, when you understand that, it's easier to make peace with the fact that it didn't work,
We didn't always make things easy for you guys. Of course, there was, the fact that we were, on one coast and you were on the other, and there, so distance definitely played a role in it. But I remember we really, I'm sure you do too. We wanted to do things our own way, or we had the pretty strong feelings about self-producing a part of the album, doing certain things. So it's just.
I don't remember that. And was I shitty about that? Was I okay with it?
But you had a business to run, and we were at a crossroads in our life too. We were 28 maybe.
Yeah, and there's something else, I think, and I say this very respectfully, of course, but I think there's two music industries in Canada. There's Quebec, which is a planet on its own, and there's the rest of Canada. And it's so true that even the people in the record companies, they're not the same people, and they don't necessarily talk to each other also. It's two different branches completely. And
I don't know if we talked to the wrong people, on the Quebec side of the industry, but it just did not click at all. I think we were. It was something also like exotic, and it. to work with 604 and
maybe in a way, yeah.
Yeah, and your credentials were just so strong to us. I remember I did a bit of a. I went around. I asked a few people, who knew about you, about 604. We got some great feedback, but of course, like I said, just as far as Yohann and I were concerned, that after that first conversation we had with you, we just felt, this is gonna work, with these guys. This guy is, loves music, and he's not. We don't feel like we're products, knowing that we were, but it wasn't that, that was going on at all. So
when Chad and I started the label, we both sort of committed that we were never going to be the kind of A&R people that we had grown to hate at the major labels. Mm-hmm. It's like those idiots who come into the studio, they're not even musicians, and they try to tell you how to make your music. And I've always let artists make their art. I don't interfere. It's right in our contract. It's not what I do. Why would I interfere? Like, my job is to sell it, not to make it. Your job's to make it. And, so it was funny because it's interesting to me. Like these days when we sign a band, we totally stay out of the recording studio. I was trying to remember, like, would I have been different back then? And I don't
think you were. I remember very vividly that, we were in complete control of the studio and the recordings. And so that was awesome, actually.
Yeah, it made for a great experience for us, those days at because we didn't even record it in a studio. We built a studio in a big, the Imperial is it's a pretty large venue. We were upstairs. We had a booth, but we were trying all sorts of things, recording downstairs in the main room, trying all sorts of things, and it was some crazy hours. I remember, Sam, you must have worked, when the Bermans were there. I think you put in like 110 hours of work.
Oh yeah, probably. And with the legendary also Rob Einy, you remember that guy, man?
Yeah.
Who was
that? I don't remember that. Who's that?
Oh man, he was a great sound engineer in Quebec, and very well known.
Cirque du Soleil. He was quite good at. He was used to recording, orchestras, and he was known to be very experimental. And we got a good taste of that. You remember his lab in Montreal, Sam?
Yeah, man.
With all
I remember
his collection of old and weird gear. And
I remember one thing about Rob Einy. When we got to the studio in the room. Well, the studio we built. He was going around the room with a snare. Trying to figure out where he would mic the snare, the drums. And at one point, he was going, no, not here. Not here, and then he farted and said, it's going to be here."
Yeah, we just oh yeah, he was a wonderful sort of weird and super creative, and it was just really easy to work with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's some more fart jokes about Rob, but
probably. Yeah.
And then I have no idea if the Berman Brothers are even still. Do you know? Like I know nothing about them.
I didn't look them up, and I never found those naked pictures they were talking about. So.
And then just quickly, you Sam, you work for the government, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because I saw your LinkedIn profile. And Ollie, are you still in music? You are, right?
Well, sorta. I'm still working on stuff, and but I'm a music teacher now, elementary music teacher. I've been for 2 years, so it's
love that, love it. And in Quebec City?
Yeah, not far from Quebec. I live 30 minutes outside. So it's a village, really.
Interesting. Oh, no, maybe you don't want to say where you live, but the one place I've been near there, and I'm trying to remember why I was there, was Thetford Mines. That's close to there, isn't it?
Thetford Mines? What were you doing there?
Well, I think that's where Julie's from.
Really?
Ah.
Wow, I didn't know
where her
that.
family's from. Yeah, so I just remember we did a family trip to Montreal, and then we went to Quebec City. And for some reason, we went to Thetford, which it's so long ago, I can't remember. But I could tell from the look in your face, that's like kind of a weird place to go, probably.
No, it's not a weird place. But I mean, of all places, it's...
Yeah, it is a weird place.
That's pretty funny. Is there anything either of you want to plug? There might not be. I always let people have an opportunity. Is there anything you want to talk?
I mean... for one thing, the 20th anniversary, I got all of my old hard drives out, and I discovered that I had so many songs. I mean, it's completely mad. And so basically, I'm just, doing some music. I started doing music again because of the 20th anniversary. So that's cool.
I love that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm a bit rusty, but I mean, I'm a bit rusty, to be honest. But I mean, it comes back really quickly, I guess.
Well, I will tell you one thing. You might be getting a bunch more exposure from us next year because it's the 25th anniversary of 604 next year.
Mm-hmm.
And we are toying with the idea. We've been toying with names for the campaign. Quarterlife Crisis is one of the names that keeps coming up because there's a song that may end up being the theme song of our 25th anniversary.
Really?
Yeah, I guess I know which one, I guess.
That song, Quarterlife Crisis.
That's cool, man. That's really cool.
Which is pretty funny. So, okay, well, listen, I always look over to Alex because I always forget. I'm supposed to say things at the end of a podcast.
Well,
I always forget.
I'm just gonna say
I was
that,
watching. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
please.
I know that your Julie is off on vacation today, I think.
As of today.
Yeah, so, I guess she'll be listening later on this. So I just want to thank her for everything she did. And I think it's amazing that she's still working for you. I think it's a testament to, 604 too. Julie, of course, she's amazing. And
I appreciate that. I have a few employees who've been here for, she's the longest, 24 years, which is shocking. Did you guys ever work with Kessie?
Kessie?
I can't remember. I think we did, but I'm not sure. I
mean, she just celebrated her 23rd.
Okay. So you must have a great pension plan,
Yeah.
I hope that people stay because they enjoy the work and they feel like they're being treated with respect. And I've had a lot of employees who've been here for decades, and that feels great. And Julie's a peach. She's just one of a kind, and
truly,
her dedication to her bands is amazing to see. And I'm hoping, I don't really. We've been getting a lot of overtures from third parties to buy us. People suddenly, because that's becoming a big thing now, buying intellectual property, and but I still enjoy it, man. I don't want to. I'm going to keep going until either my health gives out or my wife makes me. This has been an absolute joy and pleasure. Thank you both so much. So nice to see you again. I'm sorry that you haven't aged as well as I have, but nobody has, right? Nah, you both look great. You both look young and great and happy, and that makes me happy. And thank you so much for doing this, and we'll be in touch on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
All right. It was great,
looking
man.
Forward to the launch and everything.